Hey everybody, it's Kirsten again with Water's Edge Tarot, coming at you with another weekly reading. See what, we might be facing throughout this week. I just want to remind you that the tarot cards are just a reflection of what your higher self already knows. So just take responsibility for yourself. Don't blame the cards. Remember, your actions are your own to make. Also, just exciting news, Mercury comes out of retrograde this week, so hey, hopefully things can start looking up and getting better for a lot of us. I know last week's been a little trying for me. Well, it was better than the other weeks, but still a bit trying, and I'm hoping to find just a little bit of relief coming up soon, so we'll see what happens. Alright, just waiting for the cards to be finished shuffled here. Give them one good shuffle. Alright, we're ready to go. Alright, so we're starting out with the Faith card reversed. So the Faith card is also typically known as the Hierophant. And this card is really interesting for me because it is a very diverse card. It is a card when it's upright that tends to mean follow tradition and, go with whatever society says, which is never... That's the traditional meaning, and that's never been a good meaning for me. The meaning that I've always been able to incorporate is to seek out higher wisdom, whether that higher wisdom is a teacher, whether that higher wisdom is a parent or a grandparent or an aunt, whether that higher wisdom is your guides. It's always been to seek out higher wisdom, and I like how this deck calls this faith, because in order to do anything of any type of value, you have to have faith that the universe is going to be there for you. And when this card is reversed, it kind of means it's that you are doubting. It's that you are doubting the knowledge that you know and that is given to you. You are doubting that the universe will provide. You're wanting to do something different than what you're being told, which could be a good thing or a bad thing about doing something different. But we shouldn't doubt what we know in our heart. That is something that's going to help us move forward. So, if your guides are, telling you to be patient, or your guides are telling you to step out your comfort zone or something like that, I understand why you'd want to retract in and say, but there's times where we have to trust the universe. If the information is coming from a more human source and you're questioning it, I would caution you about questioning someone who you consider to be, of higher knowledge than you, but at the same time, use your discretion. If you feel completely confident and in your heart that what you're saying and what you're thinking is the right thing, then move forward. But just consider the source. That's all I'm saying. So that's where we're starting from. Alright, our growth card, more Major Aracana, is the High Priestess, and she is upright. So the High Priestess is all about psychic intuition. It's about trusting your inner self. It's about following your heart, listening to your guides, connecting with source, connecting with spirit, whatever it is that you want to call it. The High Priestess really calls us to go into our heart and to listen to what message we have for ourselves or for what source has for ourselves. A lot of times it's real easy to just, kind of go at everything like a bull charging at something. And we forget that sometimes we do need to slow down a little bit, take a time to actually think and meditate a little bit about what we're going to do. High Priestess really is also to messages coming to you about our purpose. And when I say purpose, I don't mean, the, shaded and, a veil, this is my life purpose. I mean, like, what our purpose is as to what we're doing right now, currently. So if your purpose is that you are working in an accountant and you need to, help train this, newbie, right now, that's your purpose. If your purpose is that you are, a stay-at-home mom, taking care of that kid right now is your purpose. So our purpose doesn't have to be this grandiose thing. Our purpose can already be what we're doing, but sometimes in order to do it better or to really make an effort, not an effort, to make you know, I guess effort's the right word. I just can't think of what I'm trying to say. Well, we need to connect to source in order to make the difference. The difference is what I was trying to say. So pay attention to your intuition, pray, connect, meditate, whatever it is, so that way you can listen and how you can best serve for whatever your purpose is. Alright, so here we have our obstacles and challenges, and we have the Three of Swords reversed. So the Three of Swords, yes, it's a card of grief. But this card is a different card of grief because it's not emotional grief here. And a lot of people are like, grief's emotions. Well, yes, there's a point to that. But this grief is because of our thoughts and expectations. We're disappointed, we're hurt, we're let down, and that causes emotional responses. But we're only feeling those ways because of the expectations and the thoughts that are in our head. So, when I say that this isn't emotional grief and that it's thought-based grief, that is what I mean. With that going forward, I want to also mention that this card is reversed. So, it's not that the grief is going to necessarily be lessened, but we can see it coming and we can already start to change our mind. So, the disappointment's going to be there, or the upset is still going to be there. But if we look at things through a more realistic lens, or if we see, you know, everything for what it really is, if we really listen to the High Priestess who's trying to give us that information, then the grief will still be there, the disappointment and the upset will still be there, but not to the same extent. It'll be much easier to pass through because everything is flow. And if we just remember that tears are always cleansing, then I feel like this grief won't sit so heavy in our hearts and we'll be able to pass through it much quicker. Alright, the next we have is what to embrace and release. Oh, Major Arcana and the Tower on top of it. Alright guys, Tower, change. There's no way around that one. Like, Tower is drastic change, upheaval. Now, when people see Tower, their initial thought is, oh my god, earthquakes, I mean there's a freaking lightning storm, I get it. But come also to realize too that there's upheaval in other ways. The birth of a child is still an upheaval. It is still something that drastically changes your life, but it's something that people generally consider as good. So, with that being the understanding moving forward, this could be a lot of things. I mean, we got hurricanes going on the East Coast. We have just constant changes going on around us. And honestly, with everything that's been going on, I'm not surprised to see the Tower reversed. Now, when the Tower is reversed, it typically means we already see this change coming, that we already have an inkling or that we already know about it. It's not a complete, like, surprise! You know, kind of like with the hurricanes. We know it's coming, we get the information, and we can prepare for it. So, here we have the Tower coming to us, and it's coming to us reversed, which means we have the time to prepare for it, to make this transition easier. We have the ability to where, yes, it's still going to be upheaval, but it's going to be a smoother process if we go with the flow. Guys, I still have to go back to the High Priestess because, you know, we have her just standing there saying, I got the message for you, and if we listen, I think it's going to be easier for us, but we also have to remember to keep that faith. That faith is also going to be part of the key. I want to go ahead and just pull the next card to see what it has to say, and then, oh Jesus, okay. The wheel. You know, I promised you all saw me shuffle these, so okay. Wheel upright. Guys, I don't know what is changing. I don't know what's about to happen, but woof. So, the wheel's always spinning, guys. We know this. The wheel is always spinning. It's always moving. It never stops. It's cyclical. It's the changing of the seasons. It's the rotation of the earth. It's, I mean, the solar system, the planets, everything moves. Nothing stays still. That stagnation is not good. It's entropy and it's burst. So when we have the wheel here, I mean, good things are coming. Yeah, that's a definite. But you have to remember that when you get the wheel, you have to take the good with the bad. So the wheel's always turning. So sometimes we start at the top, and then when we start at the top, we have to go back under to the dark side just for us to be able to move back up to the top side. Don't think just because you're on the bottom of the wheel, though, that that's still not a good place to be. Because a lot of times we're on the bottom place of the wheel. That is a place of growth, of lessons, of perseverance. Those are things that really help us know who we are. There's a reason why it's called the shadow and the shadow self. And it can be scary because it's not easy sometimes to face those things. But those things are the things that make us stronger and that make us easier for us to be able to accept and receive whatever is back on top of the wheel. So I'm just going to pull the last card. If it's another Major Arcana, Jesus guys, I have no clue what we're getting into this week. Oh my god. Okay. So, I mean, think about it. It makes sense. We have all these changes going on, and what do you do when there's changes? We want to go back to our comfort zones, to our easy temptations, to the things and thought processes that are comfortable for us. Oh my god. Okay, sorry guys, I haven't had a reading that was this heavy Major Arcana in a long time, and I myself am bewildered and aghast. Alright, so the overall message for the week is the Devil reversed. The Devil is our comfort zones. They're our temptations. They're the things that are easy for us to go back to. The Devil is often the thing that keeps us stagnant, though, and that's something you have to remember. But the Devil is someone who just offers us what it is we want. We're not chained, okay? We're the ones that hold the chain and the key, and we can unlock ourselves at any point. When it's reversed, we are aware that we hold the chain and the key. We already know that we can walk away at any point, and we've already done the work to be able to walk away. We've already done the work to be able to, say, this isn't for me anymore, and I'm going to continue to move forward in a better direction, which is great. But we're still going to have those temptations, which, I mean, I'm honestly not surprised right now, because we have unresolved faith. We have, messages from source, which if we're not calm, we don't receive well. We have grief with change. And, that really does bring a lot of things that happen. If they happen as quickly as it's what it's sounding, this is just a weekly reading, guys. It's real easy to want to go back to that spot. It's real easy to want to go back to, the thought patterns, the, coping mechanisms, the activities, whatever it is that we already know isn't doing us any favors, but it's comfortable and easy. All these things over here that are happening make it real easy for us to choose those things. So what I am going to really strongly try to mention here is that we really need to stay rooted in our faith and who we are as a person. And I mean faith as in who you are, who you know who you are, and who you know what you can be and what you can do is going to be super important here, guys. We need to stay rooted and grounded in ourselves. We need to stay rooted and grounded in our passions, and we need to stay rooted and grounded in our purpose. Because whatever is going to happen, it's going to shake us up a bit, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's going to, it's uncomfortable. But as long as we stay true to ourselves and true to our hearts and stay connected to source or God or spirit or whatever it is your version of that is, all of this will be so much easier to handle, and the Devil reversed will be just a think in the past. Like, it won't even be something that we have to really even consider. We'll just see that, hey, this was where we would typically go. We're not going there. We're going to do the other thing, And I think that is the overall message for this week, guys. I mean, I know typically I do card by card and I go with the whole story. But I honestly think this story has been laying itself out card by card for us, and that I don't have any more to tell. I know this week is going to be really interesting. I know Mercury's finally coming out of retrograde, so maybe it's got something to do with the planets. We're all gonna find out together, guys. That's all I'm gonna say. So with that, I'm going to leave that with you guys. Really just to stay focused in your heart, listen to source, and remember your purpose. Got that, guys? I think if we do that, we can get through this week. If this resonates with you, or you find that there is something about this reading that you see happen throughout your week, please comment below and let me know. I'm really curious because, I'll let you guys know what my tower is when I find it. So, alright, with that, I wish everyone a good night and have a good week.